The remaining Formula 1 slots on the 2025 grid have mostly been assigned to the usual suspects, but there remains a couple of wildcards available. Assuming Red Bull maintains the status quo and Mercedes follows through on its bold gambit of promoting Kimi Antonelli to its F1 team at the age of 18, Carlos Sainz, Valtteri Bottas, Esteban Ocon, and Pierre Gasly are the main candidates linked with the remaining vacancies at soon-to-be Audi Sauber, Alpine, Williams, and Haas. Sainz is largely anticipated to join Audi after Red Bull and Mercedes locked their doors. But there is one driver that remains mainly out of the picture that could shake up the grid and set off a domino effect: Yuki Tsunoda. Tsunoda has the potential to play an important influence in how those remaining seats are allocated. The RB driver is under contract with Red Bull, which is expected to have an option on his services for next season. He is routinely outperforming Ricciardo, has guided RB to 6th place in the championship thus far, and is Red Bull's second best driver on current form after Max Verstappen. Despite this, and the fact that Red Bull is still considering Sergio Perez's future because he is out of contract after 2024, Tsunoda is not a genuine contender for a spot on his employer's senior squad. There appears to be nothing he can do about it, and with primary backer Honda departing the two Red Bull teams in 2026 to join up with Aston Martin, Tsunoda's time at Red Bull is running out. Tsunoda is said to have been linked to Alpine and may be of interest to Haas as the driver market approaches its final stages. Haas appears to be a more serious option than the Renault factory team, and both sides have valid points. Tsunoda would be an excellent match for Haas, with likely rookie driver Ollie Bearman providing the American squad a youthful, quick lineup with solid experience from Tsunoda's 4 seasons in Formula 1, and Haas's upward mobility in the midfield under Ayao Komatsu's direction makes it an entirely realistic possibility. Tsunoda's immediate desire is to continue with the team that presently has the 5th or 6th fastest car in F1 and, if possible, turn it into a Red Bull racing seat. He stated as much on Thursday in Monaco, but he also stated that if the final aim is not possible, he must consider his choices. So far, very happy, Tsunoda remarked of his current squad. Now, we're fighting sometimes like even P7 or P8, and probably now the top teams are pretty much taken. Probably we're the strongest team in the midfield at least. We'll see. Obviously, especially when I'm in Red Bull, you always want to aim for Red Bull racing. But if they don't want me or they're not expecting me into the seat, yeah, if I've got an interesting offer that could be better than even VCarb or Red Bull, yeah, I'll think about it. I also have a big loyalty to Red Bull, as without them I wouldn't be here, and obviously Honda as well. And speaking of Honda, maybe Aston Martin, but Aston is taken by 2 drivers. It's pretty open, but so far I'm happy with VCarb. Tsunoda mentions something that may be his ultimate goal: a Honda-sponsored Aston Martin seat. This might also be facilitated by temporarily switching to a Haas, Alpine, or even a Williams, but those seats are apparently reserved for a Bottas or Ocon. Both have spoken with Haas and Williams. Gasly, Ocon's teammate, appears to have also spoken with Haas. Ocon and Gasly both remaining at Alpine is plausible, but highly unlikely, while Bottas is in contention everywhere. There is enough place on the 2025 grid for everyone. However, where they wind up remains unpredictable, and Tsunoda's availability in the appropriate circumstances is surely a factor to consider. But then, there is someone else on the grid who has gotten lots of attention but has no definite place to go: Carlos Sainz. The Spaniard's contract expires at the end of this season. He is currently contemplating his options, as Sauber has given him a substantial offer to join the team in 2025 just before it shifts to Audi in 2026. However, it is commonly assumed that the Swiss company wants Sainz to make a choice soon, maybe by the end of this month. If the Spaniard does not accept it by then, it is expected to investigate alternative possibilities, including Esteban Ocon. Sainz must decide whether joining Sauber is the best choice for him at this point in his career, with potential openings at Red Bull and Mercedes for next year that would undoubtedly provide a more competitive proposition. However, it appears that Mercedes will go with Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Red Bull is leaning towards keeping Sergio Perez for another year. Sainz definitely does not want to pass up the possibility to drive at Red Bull and Mercedes if they become available, but he also cannot risk ending up with nothing if he waits for them and loses his Audi chance. The scenario looks to be tricky, but Sainz stated prior of the Monaco Grand Prix that he was really calm about it and believed there was no risk of losing out on what was best for him. "Behind the scenes, I know more," he said. "You have the rumours and everything, but don't worry, I'm not going to let slip anything." I'm going to just put all the options on the table and make the right decision. I can just tell you that, once I open my mind up, everything will happen very quickly. It's all about putting everything together that I feel like I need on my next new contract. Sainz stated that nothing was finalized in his thoughts yet, and he had not established a deadline for making a call. "I haven't made my mind up yet," he said. "I don't know where I'm going to be racing next year. I don't have set deadlines, and I don't know how to do deadlines. But I can tell you that, with such an important decision in this stage of my career, that I want to have all the other cards on the table to take the right one and think about it carefully. I'm about to be 30 this year, and the next project is a project that I really want to make it work and see how it goes. So I'm going to give myself as much time as I need." You might think the choice is simple, right? Mercedes and Red Bull seem to be full. Haas seems to be looking elsewhere. So it will be Audi, right? Well, it isn't that simple, as Williams has suddenly emerged as a surprising candidate to sign Sainz for next year, with discussions between the Formula One team and the Spaniard already beginning. The team already has Alex Albon under contract, and team principal James Vowles is pressing for infrastructural enhancements that he thinks will help it move up the grid. One of its advantages, which might be extremely appealing to Sainz, is a customer engine arrangement with Mercedes for 2026, amid rumours that the German company has provided some early promise with its new power unit design. Speaking at last weekend's Imola Grand Prix, Vowles stated that the team was doing everything necessary to accelerate its advancement over the next several years, even if it meant that its present performance was not exceptional. "The 2025 car is in the tunnel, it's as simple as that," he stated. "And you're doing that to get ahead of yourself in time for actually 2026 and 2027. All the way through, my messaging will continue to be the same. It's not that I don't care about these years before 2026, but I want us to be successful in the future. To do that, I've got to make some pretty harsh decisions in order to transform the organisation." While many speculated that Sainz would be obliged to take the Audi drive since the Mercedes and Red Bull scenario did not appear positive, as said earlier, he suggested in Monaco that the reality was really different than most thought. And now we know why. So Sainz could also play a big part in the spinning wheel of silly season, just like Tsunoda. And then lastly, we have another F1 veteran who seemed to be on his way out, but most likely has a spot for next year, but isn't telling us where. Who? Valtteri Bottas. Bottas has denied so far that he has a deal for F1 2025, but he is 99% certain that his future in the sport is secured. And this might be the seat Sainz is also in contention for right now. During the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix weekend, Bottas was photographed in the Williams motorhome conversing with team head James Vowles, with whom he formerly worked at Mercedes. Bottas dismissed the encounter as little more than a reunion of old friends, but according to reputable magazines Speed Cafe and Wasserbladet, Bottas has already signed with Williams. However, the Finn refused to clarify whether the Grove-based squad is his future F1 destination. "Nothing to really add from last weekend," Bottas told reporters in Monaco. When asked if he had signed a contract with Williams and if his assurance of staying in the sport had improved from 99% to 100%, he said, "I have not signed anywhere at the moment. I said there's only 100% certainty when the pen hits the paper. In this sport, that's how it works, so it's never 100%, but yeah, I'll still go for 99. I would like to be sorted soon, which is kind of the same thing for all the teams, I guess, because things are really moving. So hopefully within the next weeks." Where do you think these drivers will end up? And will Tsunoda, Sainz or Bottas set off a chain reaction? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.